hits, and they pounded out 4 home runs. John Farrell's been waiting all season long for this offense to break out. Take a look at their lineup. Brock Holt is the leadoff man, and right behind him is the former MVP, Dustin Pedroia. Against Jay Happ, he's 4 for 10 pair of doubles, and he's driven in. And right behind Pedroia, Big Papi David Ortiz. He had big numbers against the Blue Jays throughout his career. 52 home runs and 155 ribbies in 209 games, and he loves hitting in this ballpark. He's at 35 home runs here at Rogers Center. Jay Happ is going to have to try to cool off this red-hot lineup. He pitched well against him earlier in the season.
Yeah, he really has, making his 14th start of the season. Last worked on July the 7th. That was a start down in Anaheim. Just 4 1/3 innings. He gave up 5 runs in that game. He also pitched out of the bullpen just before the break. Relief July the 12th. Threw a couple of innings, or excuse me, 2/3 of an inning out of the bullpen that day. Jay Happ, you mentioned the start he had. That was back on May the 20th. At one time, he struck out 6 of 7 batters against the Red Sox. They pitched into the 6th inning, actually won that ball game.
That is Aaron Sanchez in his first major league game. He's in the Blue Jays bullpen. He's 22 years old, just called up today from AAA Buffalo. And you can see he's taking it all in right there, looking around Rogers Center for the first time. First pitch of the game, Brock Holt takes a ball outside, and we are underway. .26 degrees at the start of play. Brock Holt, the leadoff man. There's a strike. It's 1-1. What a terrific season Holt has put together, and tonight he's starting in center field for the second time.
He can play all over. He can do different things, and since they put him in that leadoff spot, he has really come through offensively.
Reyes was shaded up the middle, and he throws out Brock Holt, first out of the ball game. Take a look at the defense behind Jay Happ. Melky Cabrera's in left. He's had a great season defensively. Anthony Gose is starting in center for the 30th time. Jose Bautista is back in right field. Kawasaki makes his first start at third base. Reyes and Goins up the middle. Juan Francisco's at first, and Leon Navarro is the backstop.
Lots of changes on that defense. Kawasaki with his first start at third base. A little bit longer throw from across the diamond, so he's going to have to get to the ball quickly.
Dustin Pedroia, one of the few Red Sox players that didn't get in the hit column last night. He was 0 for 4 before he was taken out of the game. Off speed pitch. He's way out in front. Pedroia is really looking forward to the last half of the season. He says it's going to be a lot of fun, and you can see his numbers have improved over the last 19 games, a .312 average.
Is there anybody who enjoys playing the game as much as this guy?
He enjoys playing. He enjoys practicing. He enjoys talking about it. He loves baseball. No question.
You get to the ballpark in Boston at 3 o'clock in the afternoon. He's out there taking extra ground balls, working with some of the young kids. On the other end of that fungo from Brian Butterfield, just trying to get better.
Strikeout for Happ, and David Ortiz will come to the plate with 2 outs. And take a look at this list. It's impressive. The most home run games by a left-handed batter in history. Babe Ruth, of course, he's way out front, but look at David Ortiz. He's 1 ahead of Lou Gehrig, 2 ahead of Reggie Jackson, and 4 ahead of Ken Griffey Jr. He has had a remarkable career, and he had another multi-home run game last night here at Rogers Center.
Some of the greatest sluggers of all time: Babe Ruth, Lou Gehrig, Reggie Jackson, Ken Griffey Jr. 44th time the Big Papi has had a multi-homer game. Last night, by doing that, he passed Andruw Jones, Dave Kingman, and Lou Gehrig. And he's in a tie now with Mike Schmidt and Willie McCovey for 20th all time.
Big swing and a miss. Ortiz is 0 for 4 against Jay Happ, and a gorgeous evening here at Rogers Center. 27,900 on hand last night. Ball on a strike, 2 outs. See the defense, they play the shift. That's Kawasaki at second base. Ryan Goins, the second baseman, is out there in shallow right field in front of Jose Bautista.
That start that we were talking about for Jay Happ against the Boston Red Sox earlier. Let's take a look at David Ortiz last night. These are the multi-home runs. This one to dead center field, and that looked like another breaking ball from Brad Mills. Hanger that he hit to right field.
That first home run for Ortiz last night snapped a personal 0 for 15 against the Jays. And here he strikes out. Well, David Ortiz, one of 2 strikeouts registered by Jay Happ in the top of the first. Good start for the Jays. John Givens, Jose Reyes in the leadoff spot. Melky Cabrera in that familiar 2 spot against Jake Peavy. He's got 6 for 14 with a double and a walk, and Melky has hit very well against the American League East this season. Cleanup hitter tonight is Deanna Navarro. He has put up good numbers against the Red Sox. He's 7 for 19 against Boston this year. A couple of doubles. A double and 2 RBIs for the Blue Jays catcher, and they are going to take on Jake Peavy, who's had a tough season.
He certainly has. 1-8 record of .459 earned run average. And I asked John Farrell today, their manager, what's up with Jake Peavy. He says he's been pitching on the wrong day. He just hasn't been able to get the runs that he needs to win. He has received 2 runs of support or less in each of his last 7 starts. This is his 20th start of the season, and just before the All-Star break, pitched a very good game against Houston. 7 innings, had a season-high 9 strikeouts, so maybe he's rounding in the form.
Blue Jays hope that's not the case. Jose Reyes will take the first pitch outside. Blue Jays had a tough night offensively. Scored a run on 3 hits. That's all they could muster against Lackey and 2 relievers. There's a high, deep drive to right, but Victorino is back. He's got plenty of room. Makes the running catch on the warning track. The Red Sox have committed 60 errors so far this season. Johnny Gomes gets the start in left. Brock Holt makes his 2nd start in center. Bo Glover in right's Victorino. Xander Bogaerts is at 3rd. Stephen Drew and Dustin Pedroia up the middle. Mike Napoli, a terrific defender, at 1st. And David Ross gets his first start in this series tonight.
Just activated off the disabled list on Saturday. Shane Victorino spent a couple of stints on the DL. He's a 4-time Gold Glove winner for the Boston Red Sox. They've missed his spark this season. Just been beat up this year.
Dealt with hamstring issues. He's most recently on the DL with a right hamstring problem. Here is Melky Cabrera, 6 for 14 against Boston. His average at .305. Good rip. He fouls it back. Peavy's ahead 0-2.
So John Lackey last night used his fastball a lot. Really attacked the Blue Jay hitters. Jake Peavy looks like he's doing the same thing. That was another fastball.
Fastball downstairs. You saw David Ross, the old veteran catcher. He was tapping the dirt, suggesting he might be throwing a breaking ball. But that was just for the Blue Jays' benefit. he called the fastball, but most catchers will tap that dirt when they want a breaking ball. David Ross got a little tricky. There's the breaking ball and the strikeout. 2 up, 2 down for Peavy. Jake Peavy's always been one of the premier pitchers in all of baseball, going back to his Cy Young years in San Diego.
Yeah, he's got plenty of hardware to back up what he has done in the big leagues. This is what he will use. He'll cut the ball. He's got a changeup, a curveball, a slider, and that fastball. Not as hard as it used to be, but he pitches with a lot of smarts and a lot of guile, a lot of determination.
Bautista goes after the first pitch. The 2-hopper is short. Quick inning for Jake Peavy. Just 7 pitches, and he sets down the Jays in order. Season, and there's a distinctive pattern to what he likes at the plate to hit those homers.
Well, this is pretty obvious right here. He likes the ball up, and he also likes fastballs. You can see those red dots in the middle of that strike zone right there. They're all up. Just one of them down low. So they're going to have to, I think, tie him up with those fastballs, and J. Happ's going to use that fastball, tie him up, and keep it in.
Mike Napoli, 280 average for the season. There's a fastball that missed off the plate. Ball and a strike, and Napoli is a little bit confused. Thought the first one was a strike and the second one was a ball.
We're even right now because the first one looked like it was in there. Look, was a strike. This is the guy who got it all started for the Red Sox last night.
Mike Napoli is now 32 years old. He was a 17th round pick by the Angels back in 2000. There's a pitch that jammed him out into right. Bautista calls for it. The right fielder makes the catch.
We just showed you that heat map of where all those home runs are. They were up and out over the plate. Watch where this fastball is. This is where I think J. Happ's got to be successful. You see how Napoli pulled his hands in? He just couldn't extend and get the barrel out. Good pitch.
So Happ has retired 4 straight. Open air baseball here at Rogers Center. Second game of a 4-game series. The Boston Red Sox won 14-1 last night. John Lackey picking up his 11th win of the season. Drew Hutchison lost his 9th. Hutchison now 6-9 for the season. Johnny Gomes, the left fielder, takes a strike.
Blue Jays are going to have to think, hey, there's no carryover in baseball. All those 14 runs, that was yesterday. Start from 0 again today.
Yeah, it looks like a 1-0 loss, that's all. Off-speed pitch, and it's a ball on the strike. Drew Hutchison said, "I was just bad last night." He made some bad pitches, and the Red Sox lineup didn't miss him. Shortest non-injury start of his career. Well, Happ's got a little life in that fastball down. You see how that ball cut across to the inside corner. Looked like it surprised Johnny Gomes.
It's been a couple of weeks since he has started the ball game. I told you that he pitched out of the bullpen, so he's quite well rested. That cutting action right there, they've been working on that, his breaking ball, and it's been good tonight.
The Super Slow-Mo is brought to you by Jose Cuervo, the world's best-selling tequila. Have a story with Jose Cuervo.
We'll watch the depth of the breaking ball. Pete Walker was telling us before the ball game that they cleaned up the slider just a little bit. He'll throw an occasional curveball. That looked like a curveball there, but it feels like his slider is a lot better. And the side sessions that they have had, it's a good combination with his fastball.
2 outs. Shane Victorino did not play in the game last night. Pat mentioned he's just coming off the disabled list. Been kind of beat up the last couple of years. There's another good fastball. Jay Happ had 5 strikeouts in a row in his last start when the Blue Jays faced Boston back in May. This is trouble down the right side. It's slicing, but foul. Just about a foot from being extra bases for Victorino. Mentioned those 5 straight strikeouts. It started in the 2nd inning. Happ struck out Gomes, Bogarts, and Brock Holt in the 2nd, and then got the first 2 in the 3rd. David Ross and Jackie Bradley Jr. 5 straight, and 6 out of 7 to start that ball game.
A lot of fastballs, if you remember that start back in May. He used it, and he kept it in a good spot. You can't just continually throw fastballs. You have to throw quality fastballs, and that night it was a good one.
Eric Kratz was the catcher for him back in Boston on that start on the 20th of May. And Kratz is a fastball catcher, and he likes to set up that fastball, and Happ really took advantage of it on that night. One and 2 to Shane Victorino. Lined over Goins into center field. A 2-out single. That's the first hit of the ball game.
Let's take a closer look at Jay Happ and the percentages of what he'll throw. He's a fastball pitcher. I think everybody knows that. His pitching coach says that he's got to be able to use that fastball, throw it a lot, and throw it in quality spots. The changeup is coming around, and the slider he'll throw it 9% of the time. It's probably his best pitch. They're hitting only 143 against that slider this year.
Stephen Drew, the shortstop, goes after that fastball and fouls it back. Drew had a good night last night. Had an RBI single in the 2nd, a 3-run home run in the 3rd. He walked and scored in the 5th. He finished up 2 for 4 on the night with 4 RBIs. He did not sign with the Red Sox until the middle of May. Stephen Drew opted to test the free agent market. The Red Sox gave him a qualifying offer, just over almost $14 million. He turned it down and signed for $10 million in May,
which was the prorated value of the $14 million. You see the Blue Jays showing a shift against Stephen Drew. That's odd because a left-handed pitcher on the mound, a left-handed batter, generally lefties don't pull lefties. They want to stay on that breaking ball.
There's another one of those fastballs that runs down and away. 2-1. There's a high pop-up down the left field line. Long run for Kawasaki, and oh, what a catch! Munenori Kawasaki, making his first start in the big leagues at third base, had a long way to run. He stayed with it over his shoulder, looking up into the evening sky, and makes a heck of a catch to end the inning. This game, Deanna Navarro will lead things off against Jake Peavy. We are pleased to be joined in the booth now by Milos Raonic, a great tennis player from Richmond Hill. Welcome.
Yes, thank you guys for having me.
It's been a terrific year for you, and as you said earlier, it's not over just yet.
Yeah, actually, if you could have told me that I'd be doing as well as I did through which tends to be the worst part of my season, I would have been quite happy, and it has me that much more excited for what's to come for the rest of the year.
Navarro with a leadoff double. The ball goes all the way to home. Well, obviously, when you play in the French Open on clay, then you go to Wimbledon on grass, two of the surfaces that you're not really strong. You go to the quarterfinals and then the semis. You must be very pleased with the start you've had.
Yeah, a lot of things have been going great. I've been putting in the work. I was unfortunate to miss a bit of the beginning of the year with injury, but to be able to do that well on clay and then follow it up, especially on grass where I've struggled even more so than on clay, is great for me. And just with all these summer tournaments that I really look forward to, it has me that much more eager to already get back into playing them.
I know in Wimbledon, everybody here in Canada was talking about you here. Everywhere Buck and I went, they were talking about you. And you really put tennis on the map, I think, here in Canada. What does that mean to you?
Honestly, it's a great feeling. I get to come back to Canada not that often, and every time I do, the respect, the appreciation for tennis is growing, and I always get to see it in big leaps and bounds. And to tell you the truth, the best way to advertise something as a sport or anything is through success. And I just focus on trying to do as best as I can, and the other things take care of themselves. You
and Eugenie Bouchard have both had terrific years, and I guess it's really raised the awareness across Canada. Now you've got your game coming up, the hard court, here in Toronto at Rogers Centre starting August 2nd, then Cincinnati, and then, of course, the U.S. Open. How anxious are you to take part in these great tennis tournaments?
Yeah, well, it's great for me to be coming home, playing up at the Rexall Center, and it's the first time. A lot has changed since I played there last time. Now I'm one of the top 10 players. I feel like I've established myself consistently throughout the last probably 8 months, and I'm really excited to play here. Not just because of the surface and because it's home, just because I feel like I'm a much better player than I was last time I played here, even last time I played in Canada up in Montreal this time last year.
You've taken a big step this year. Now, I believe you're 6th in the world. What have you done different? What part of your game is better now?
I've gotten better. That's pretty much what it comes down to. Even just watching these baseball guys here, it's so different from us. If we play 60, 70 matches a year, that's a good number. That means you're winning a lot of matches in a lot of tournaments. But every time, like, sort of things aren't going well, we can stop and we can work on things. And here, it's impressive, and also it's tough to watch, because they got to figure out stuff through the game. They can be playing 7, 8, 9, 10 days in a row. It's not really great to be sort of trying to find your rhythm when you have the pressures of, okay, I got to step up and I got to get this hit. So it's quite different, and I've been taking those periods of time, and I've been just getting better. I feel like I've improved as a competitor and as a tennis player.
When you hear the greats of tennis, and you're among those, like Djokovic talking about your serve being the best in the world, that's got to give you confidence that you can play with the big boys now, and then you're about ready to take that next step and win one of these Grand Slam tournaments.
Yeah, and a lot of people have been coming up to me, congratulating me, especially for Wimbledon. And it's actually the one that hurts probably the most. It's probably the first time I ever felt like I was within grasp of winning my first slam, and that's probably why it hurts. I'm still not over it. I've been back into training, but I guess when I get back into the next tournament, that stuff will sort of disappear. But it's something I want really bad, and it's a big motivation for every day that I work, every day that I'm sore, every day I wake up tired, every day that I don't want to sort of get out of bed and I have pains and aches. Those kind of things keep me going, those kind of challenges.
Where did you learn to hit the ball so hard? I want to know. When did you know when you were a kid where you said, hey, I'm pretty good at this, I hit it pretty fast?
Well, I always had a good serve. It was actually unfortunate growing up. I would practice at 6 in the morning till 8, and then I'd practice late at night from 9 to 11. There wasn't always somebody to play with, and it wasn't always that I would play with the ball machine, but there was only so much you could do with that. So what do? You get a basket of balls, you go out there and you serve for 2 hours, and then you just constantly get better. Repetition. There's nothing that can substitute or fake that time and effort that you put into improving something.
When you talk about winning a tournament in the Grand Slam, and Pat has been part of a World Series team, and I've played in championship teams, once you get that taste, and I'm sure you've talked to some of the greats that have multiple wins, that's something that you get. And once you taste what a championship is, nothing else matters. Only winning championships, I would assume.
You have to ask me after I win one, right? It's hard to answer a question hypothetically, especially such a question that can be so emotional for somebody that works for something for so long and their whole life. Tennis is almost, you realize when you see how the guys at the top do it, it's not a sport, it's a lifestyle.
When you started playing as a junior, you were playing against the same people that you're playing against now. How has that helped you in recognizing that you're one of those guys now, and it's just a matter of putting that first win under your belt?
Well, I didn't get to play them. If you look at it, I'm 23 right now, and then you got the guys that are Rogers a little bit above 30. You got other guys that are around 28. So I never really played them until I got to the pros.
You didn't face Nadal or any of those guys?
Never played any of them. Novak, first time I faced was in Davis Cup last year. And he's a guy I know really well, and I practiced with him many times, but never in a competition. So that's the one thing that's tough, because these guys have been in so many situations. I was in my first semi. Roger was in his 36th. So it's much easier to deal with that when you sort of step out there for the first time, and you got to just step up and play. It's much easier to deal with that, and you can't cheat on experience either. You got to put yourself through those situations, and the most important thing is to make sure that you get better each time you're dealing with it.
Now, I know you're a huge baseball fan,
yes.
Right? Blue Jays.
Yes.
What's going on? What do we need to do? You're the decision maker.
Okay.
Let's go.
Okay. If you put it down to strategy, I got none.
Okay. All right.
So let's not. But
do we need some more pitching?
I think you gotta. I think what happens, I think relevant in any sport. You got to scrap through a few wins. You can't expect to be feeling good out there, especially when you're playing 162 games a year.
162.
I think probably if you ask the guys, I know in tennis, if we have 3 matches where we feel good, we're happy out of 80. So I'm sure if they have 10 where they're feeling good, no stress, everything's just sort of swinging easy, that's a good number. So you just got to tough it out, and I'm sure that's what they're doing every time. And they don't really have time to sort of go out and find their rhythm, train, and work on things throughout the season. It's for them, it's just constantly being out there, and it's a grind. And I'm sure you got so many guys on the team. Each guy knows how to deal with it differently, but at the same time, they figure out how to come together when it comes up to those big moments.
Take a look at the ceremonial first serve with the Gold Glover, Mark Burley, behind the plate.
Yeah.
He threw it right by him.
Yeah. I was glad he wore that mask. But is that a pitcher's mask or a hockey mask?
That's a catcher's mask.
Catcher's mask.
Yeah. Sorry, pitcher's. Yeah.
100%? Did you go 100%?
No.
Did you take it easy on him?
No, he's got to play, right? He's been stellar for us this year.
Well, I need something to rib him a little bit. He said, "You didn't even catch it. You only hit it 60% of this."
Yeah, no, I wouldn't say 60%. I stepped up there. I did my work, but at the same time, you got to keep a guy that's been in stellar shape this year. You got to keep him in the game.
We don't need to hurt him, that's for sure. 3-1 to Munenori Kawasaki.
This guy's got a great personality.
Isn't he? Yeah, you got a chance to meet some of the Blue Jays, right?
Is he the biggest thing on YouTube or what?
Yeah,
I gotta say that what was that recent one? Monkeys don't cramp. Monkeys don't cramp. That I watched that like 2 days ago. My friend sent it to me. I'm like, really? You just want to come up to the guy, you want to hug him, and you say, really? Monkeys don't cramp?
I've got a son your age, and he loves him. That's his favorite player right there.
Exact personality sells, right?
Yeah.
Can you give us an idea about the competition at the Rogers Cup and who's going to be here and some of the top names that you're going to be in competition with for that title?
Yeah, it's a premier event for us. Outside of the Grand Slams, there's 8 of these tournaments, and this is one stop that the players look forward to the most, really, to getting started playing in North America. And you got players like Roger, who is slated to come out, Federer, Nadal, Djokovic, Murray. Everybody's sort of wanting to figure things out, and it's midsummer. People are trying to find their form.
And we'll be all keeping an eye on you. Milos Raonic, congratulations and good luck at the Rogers Cup.
Thank you.
homeowners with expert advice.
Well, I got a new fan in the sports world, Milos Raonic. What a young gentleman he is, and he is a rising star in the tennis world, and I am going to be keeping my eye on him when it all starts at the Rogers Cup, August 2nd. I went up there last year and watched the ladies play, and it's a terrific venue, and it's up at York University. Make sure you get up there if you got a chance, because it is a great event, and certainly you heard the rundown of Federer, Nadal, and Djokovic, and Raonic all going to be there. Andy Murray's going to be there. It'll be a terrific tournament, and hometown favorite Milos Raonic will be involved.
That's going to be awesome. I'll tell you what, he set the tennis world on fire here in Canada, didn't he?
Yeah, he sure did. Big serve, and it started 2013 with the Davis Cup. Thunder Bogarts, the third baseman, takes a first pitch strike. 0-0 ball game. We're in the third inning. Jay Happ had a good fastball early on. Going to be interesting to watch how the Red Sox adjust. We saw their adjustment last night. Drew Hutchison had a 1-2-3 first inning, and after that, the Red Sox really made adjustments, and they hit him hard.
Overpowering first inning for Drew Hutchison, and then when he made mistakes, I'll tell you what, the Boston Red Sox didn't miss him. They hit him hard.
The Red Sox had been 15th in runs scored in the American League, and they jumped up to 10th after scoring 14 runs last night. There's a breaking ball, backhanded by Reyes, takes his time. Bogarts out by a half a step.
That's the one thing I think that has been missing from the Boston Red Sox this year when you talk to them, that the offense just hasn't been clicking. They've bounced into 94 double plays this year.
And there's a conflicted young fan right there. He's got his Red Sox jersey on, his Blue Jays cap. David Ross, the veteran catcher, batting ninth. He goes after the first pitch. Already they have recognized that Jay Happ's going to use that fastball.
Throws it just over 70% of the time, so you got to be ready for that fastball.
This is a very patient ball club. They always have been, and they take a lot of pitches, and Happ has forced him into a swing mode. 0-2.
They are second in the major leagues in base on balls this year, 354. They're not afraid to go up there and make you work.
Two balls and two strikes. The number 9 hitter, Brock Holt, is on deck. He'll be next. Brock Holt is 27 years old. There's a base hit into center field. Anthony goes over to cut it off. Brock Holt last night 2 for 5 in the ball game. He had an RBI single, also had a double, scored a pair of runs. He was all over the place.
Did a little bit of everything for the Red Sox. Really stayed inside that ball and drove it to left field. John Farrell was telling us early on that he is not much of a punch and Judy hitter anymore, that he's trying to drive the ball, and then defensively takes this extra base hit away from Dan Johnson with a great leaping catch against the wall in right field last night. He's in center field tonight.
Making his second start in center field, and the Red Sox are out on the field. David Ross, the catcher, made a turnaround first, and training staff came out along with the manager, John Farrell, to check him out. He was jogging up the first baseline after that sure single into center, but appears to be okay. He will stay in the ball game.
Solid single to center field. Let's watch him come out of the box. Everything looks fine, and then wait a minute.
He got a little hitch in his get along getting out of the batter's box.
Like something might have grabbed on him, huh?
I can relate to that. Happens to me about twice a day. One out. Brock Holt has been the leadoff man for the Red Sox. He bunts it foul. Since he was installed in the leadoff spot on May 23rd, he has played every inning of the 53 games, and he leads the majors with 77 hits since they've inserted him into the leadoff spot. He's a pretty good player and been the spark that John Farrell was looking for.
Starting to drive the ball now. They were playing a series in Colorado last year and hitting the ball to left field, and their hitting coach Greg Colburn said, hey, let me see you turn on a couple of balls. So he started hitting the ball into the seats, starting to use that hidden power.
Isn't that funny how that happens to a lot of players? We saw that happen to J.J. Hardy when he went to Minnesota. They wanted him to be a singles hitter and cut the ball, hit the ball the opposite way, just hit for a higher average, and that's not his game.
And Jim Presley, a hitting coach, said, hey, didn't you hit 20 home runs when you were at Milwaukee? Where's that guy? Same thing happened to this kid. Hey, let me see you try and pull the ball. See what happens when you get the barrel out and swing hard. Well, good things have happened.
It's so easy in baseball to get a tag. He's a little guy. You say, well, he doesn't have any power. Well, now he's starting to drive the ball. Now he's starting to push the defense back a bit. You know, Dustin Pedroia had to deal with that when he was coming through the minor leagues, saying, hey, listen, you're a little guy. Don't try to hit the ball too hard. Well, we found out he's a Rookie of the Year and an MVP. He can knock it out of the ballpark.
That's right. Little guys like that, they'll say, hey, you need to choke up and go the other way, maybe bunt for a base hit, learn to play hit and run.
Bounced first place, fair ball, throw to second. There's the tag, double play. Nice play by Francisco. The ball took him right to the bag at first. He stepped on the bag to retire Brock Holt, then made a good throw to second. Easy play for Francisco, making his fourth start at first. Every angle of the Toronto Blue Jays. Breaking news, photos, videos, and tweets. A one-stop shop for everything Blue Jays. The Blue Jays Rundown, only on sportsnet.ca. And you can see the headlines talking about Eric Kratz and Mastriani being optioned to the minor leagues. Brad Mills was designated for assignment. Aaron Sanchez has been called up from the minor leagues for the first time in his young career. Esmail Rogers has also been added to the bullpen, and Ryan Goins is up to play second base, and he will lead things off here in the third. Goins started with the Blue Jays. He broke spring training with the Blue Jays. In fact, got into the first game after Jose Reyes injured himself in the first at bat of the season. Ryan Goins took over defensively at shortstop. Had a tough start, just 9 for 60 to start the season. He went down to AAA Buffalo, played in 79 games, and hit .285.
Teams really pounded him with that fastball. Said, okay, if you're going to beat me, you're going to have to beat me in the big part of the ballpark, and he just wasn't able to do that.
Home plate umpire Paul Nart said no, that wasn't close enough, and Peavy tried to make that perfect pitch down and away. Peavy has 4 strikeouts already. Doesn't look like a 1-8 pitcher to me.
No.
There's that nasty breaking ball, another strikeout. David Ross will throw to first. Goins is retired, 1 down. Let's check in with Jamie Campbell. New York Yankees have a new third baseman. He's not in the lineup tonight, but Chase Headley was acquired by the Yankees to be their everyday third baseman from here on out. They had to give up a good young pitching prospect in DePaula, a young right-hander from the Dominican, and they also gave up Yannervis Solarte, switch hitter that got off to a good start with the Yankees this year.
The MVP of April.
Yeah.
He was outstanding in April. In May, he was a little bit better, and back down in the minor leagues. So he is heading over to San Diego. I think Chase Headley is going to be okay in New York. I really do. Get him out of San Diego and that big ballpark. Put him in that Yankee Stadium with the short porch. I think he's going to hit some home runs for him.
We will see. It's a little bit different playing for the Yankees than it is playing in laid-back Southern California with the Padres. Anthony goes 2 balls and a strike. There was some talk not that long ago that Jake Peavy might be traded. Everybody was keeping their eye on Peavy as far as his availability and whether or not he might be picked up by one of the contending teams. Well, the Red Sox feel like they're one of those contending teams right now.
Yeah, and I think they're going to sit still right now and see what they have instead of letting him go.
John Farrell had an interesting take on it this afternoon when I sat with him in the dugout. He said we have 3 categories of players. We have the guys that you have to make a decision on, like John Lester, that's going to be a free agent after the season. There are guys that you're not going to move at all. Xander Bogaerts, Jackie Bradley Jr., Brock Holt, the younger guys, some of the younger pitchers. But then you have the guys like Peavy, who you could move, probably get a pretty good piece. But Peavy was a big part of their World Series surge last year. Everybody thinks this is a black and white period for general managers, and that's hardly the case.
Blue Jays on Sportsnet. Brought to you by the 2014 Honda Civic. Canada's best-selling car 16 years in a row. And the official vehicle of the Toronto Blue Jays.
Anthony Ghost with a 1-out walk. That snaps a streak of 4 straight strikeouts for Peavy. Ghost breaks and Ross can't find the handle. Ball goes all the way back toward the backstop. Anthony Ghost ends up at second with his 6th steal of the season. He got a great jump.
Hey, Ross is throwing out 25% of the base runners, and here he just tries to be a little bit too quick. Throws it all the way back to the backstop, but Ghost was running for a straight steal, didn't take a glance in to see where the ball was.
You know who did that all the time as a catcher? Thurman Munson. Because he was so quick with that glove, he would flip that ball to his bare hand, and oftentimes it ended back at the backstop.
And he threw sidearm too, right?
Yeah.
To be a little bit quicker.
Jose Reyes with a man at second. Peavy and Reyes, they know each other very well. Reyes now has 25 at-bats against Jake Peavy. Peavy, of course, spent the majority of his career with the San Diego Padres. Reyes with the Mets. There's a pop-up. Shallow right. Pedroia backpedaling into the outfield. Reyes is retired. Now there are 2 outs. Peavy's one of those warriors. He's one of those guys that just say, okay, if I needed to win one game, and I had to pick a pitcher, Jake Peavy's going to be on a lot of people's lists.
Yeah, you know, we were talking about that a couple of batters ago about him now on the Red Sox, and they might not trade him. He's also pitched in the postseason, and it's tough to find pitchers who've pitched in the postseason and been successful. It's a whole different ball game. Pitching in October,
totally different. You don't get that next start. You're not going to start in 5 days automatically. Melky Cabrera pops it over the Blue Jays dugout.
I'll tell you, he'll give you everything he has. He's animated out there. He was broiling when he walked Anthony Gose on that 3-2 pitch. He couldn't believe it because he knew he's number 9 hitter and he's got great stolen base capabilities, and there he is in scoring position.
Peavy was a teammate of Mark Burley's with the Chicago White Sox 2009 through 2011. 0-1, 2 outs. Peavy had a career-threatening injury when he pulled the pectoral muscle off his rib cage, and it was a serious injury, and there was some doubts as to whether he would ever be able to pitch again, but he just wouldn't give in to that injury. Worked hard, got himself back, and last year he enjoyed being part of the World Series team. Right off of Peavy. Melky Cabrera is going to be safe, and Gose comes in to score. Cabrera is now headed for second, and he's going to be out. Jake Peavy got smoked by that hot shot back to the mound. His throw was wide of first base. Melky Cabrera gets a hit. Blue Jays score a run. They take a 1-0 lead.
One run there, Gose gets on base, makes some things happen with his legs. So good start, especially after last night.
The lineup, Gibby, a lot of changes in your lineup. How did you piece it together tonight?
Well, we're basically a left-handed hitting team now. There's not a whole lot of righties in there, so the key is to get to Peavy early before they can go to their left-handers late. But we just basically put our top 3 guys up top, and then some little bit of power in the middle, and then our guys that can make some things happen down at the bottom.
So far, so good. Gibby, thanks for your time.
Okay, guys.
Blue Jays have a 1-0 lead. Jay Happ has allowed just 2 hits. Pedroia, Ortiz, and Napoli for the Red Sox in the 4th. Pedroia called out on strikes. He was called out on a low fastball in the 1st inning. Dustin Pedroia is a great player, great teammate. He's also a very conscientious ball player. He was involved in Make-A-Wish Foundation and did a terrific job with a youngster at Fenway Park back in May. He got a call from Make-A-Wish that there was a youngster in Houston that had been ill for a long time, and his dream was to get on the field at Fenway Park and play baseball up against the Green Monster, and Dustin Pedroia obliged him.
Yeah, it was so cool. It's a video on YouTube, and he actually threw batting practice to him out by the Monster. He hit one over the Green Monster, the young 12-year-old did.
Bouncing ball, 2-hopper to Reyes. Pedroia is out. Let's go back and look at the run the Jays pushed across as Melky Cabrera picks up an infield single and an RBI.
Well, the ball never left the infield the whole inning. The Blue Jays get a run, and Gibby was talking about that, about getting somebody at the bottom of the line to make things happen. What a play by Pedroia, backing up the play and then crawling to the ball. Here's Ghost. He's going to score when that ball gets away from Peavy. He throws it away, and that speed scores. But the play by Pedroia to end the inning was outstanding.
Peavy got hit on the back of the right leg. Ghost with great speed came around to score easily. Melky Cabrera picks up his 49th RBI. No bones sticking out, so Peavy's coming back for the next inning.
He's a gamer.
Ortiz is late on that pitch. It's 0-2. Goes the other way, set back on that breaking ball and strokes it down the left field line. It goes all the way into the corner. David Ortiz has a double, his 20th double of the season. It comes with 1 out.
Boy, that's the difference between minor league hitters and big league hitters. 2 strikes, how they can stay back and hit a breaking ball. That is a strike. Inside out's that ball. Watch him stay back and just go the other way. Gets that front foot down quick enough. Just slices it down the left field line.
Great depiction of that phrase, use your hands. Trust your hands to get to that ball. He took a stride and then just used his hands to go get that breaking ball. Napoli, big cut on a fastball. He's behind 0-1. Mike Napoli is always among the leaders in number of pitches he sees per at bat. He takes a lot of pitches. He'll wait pitchers out. He'll make you throw 4 or 5 pitches every at bat.
That's why that on-base percentage is so good. His on-base percentage just under 400. You don't see that from power hitters. A lot of power hitters are free swingers.
Bautista is first in on-base percentage, and Napoli is second. Bautista's calling for it. Ortiz is tagging. Bautista unloads, and Ortiz knows he's not going to challenge that great arm. Ortiz looking out to Bautista says, "You're not going to get me, big boy." But Bautista took charge of that ball in right center. Set himself up perfectly for the angle to make a strong throw to third.
8 outfield assists for Jose. Still leads the club.
And he's got a lot of fans here at Rogers Center. 2 down. Johnny Gomes struck out his first time up. One of 3 strikeouts Jay Happ has recorded so far. Breaking ball as Happ gets ahead. The outfield for the Blue Jays really has to be aware who's running at second. On a base hit, if Gomes happens to get a base hit, you can see the outfield is basically straight away and kind of shallow. But David Ortiz does not run well, and they'll have a shot should there be a base hit.
Brian Butterfield knows that. Third base coach of the Red Sox. He knows how every one of these Blue Jay players throws, if they're accurate enough.
Look at him looking at the outfielders too, just reminding himself where they're positioned. A lot of things a third base coach has to decide before the pitch is ever made. Johnny Gomes takes that one and says thank you very much. Hit with an 0-2 pitch.
Sounded like it might have hit him on that elbow pad, which is a perfect place for him. 0-2, he's got a battle. Jay Happ does him a favor by plunking him. They wanted to go up Yeah, right off the elbow pad right there. They wanted to go up with a fastball, and he just yanks it inside. You heard that ball hitting the pad.
That still stings a bit, you can bet that. So it's first and second now. Shane Victorino had a single to center. He got the first hit off J-Hap. Came with 2 outs in the second. Ball and a strike. Victorino was originally drafted by the Dodgers. He established himself as a Gold Glover and an All-Star while playing with the Phillies. Navarro wasn't sure where it was, but it was right at his feet.
He was a Rule 5 guy, wasn't he?
Sure was. He was a Rule 5 guy from L.A. to San Diego. Then he went to Philadelphia. He spent 8 seasons in Philadelphia and was part of that World Series team in 2008. He played against Diana Navarro in the Tampa Bay Rays in that World Series.
Rule 5 guys are guys who are left off the 40-man roster. They can be exposed in the winter meetings for other teams if they want to pick them. They have to keep them in the big leagues the full time. And Victorino was not an established player at the time, but somebody scouted him and saw something. He's had a great career now in his 10th year in the big leagues.
There's a base hit to right. Bautista was in good position. They're going to stop Ortiz at third. Ball was hit right at Bautista, and Ortiz has to hold at third base.
Bautista had the ball in his glove and was getting ready to throw before David Ortiz even got to third base. Slices it the other way. It's 3 hops to Bautista, and no one in their right mind is going to send anybody on that arm.
Victorino's 2 for 2. Bautista with that strong arm made an accurate throw, and the bases are now loaded. 2 outs. J-Hap will face Stephen Drew, the shortstop. Boy, he gets in his kitchen deep with that first pitch fastball right above his hands. Drew has 2 career grand slams. He had a 4 RBI night last night, hit a 3-run home run off of Drew Hutchison in the 3rd inning.
Hit that one off an off-speed pitch, so it looks like they're going to try and pound him a little bit tonight.
Nothing wrong with Hap's fastball. 95 with good life. Ortiz with a 1-out double. Johnny Gomes got hit by a pitch, and Shane Victorino, his 2nd single of the night, bases loaded. There's that pitch inside, as you were mentioning, staying tight on Drew.
Yep, pound him.
See, now here's where I wouldn't throw another breaking ball. David Ortiz got a 2-strike breaking ball and took it down the left field line. These veteran hitters, they're just trying to put the ball in play with 2 strikes.
Good major league hitters, they're good breaking ball hitters.
Trying to go upstairs and missed all the way down out of the zone. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Stephen Drew spent 7 years with the Arizona Diamondbacks. Fastball lifted into center. Ghost broke back. Now he's got to come in. Melky Cabrera saves his bacon. Melky Cabrera coming in from left saves a couple of runs for J-Hap. It's still 1-0 Jays. Honda. Sunday, August 10th, the Blue Jays will take on the Detroit Tigers. Game time is 1:07 p.m. The first 20,000 fans will receive a replica Blue Jays BP cap. Call the Jays at 416-341-1234. Or log online at BlueJays.com and get your tickets for the BP cap giveaway. Ivanka Osmak and Tim and Sid here. Ken Reed is also in the house tonight. Some Sportsnet celebrities who will be working long and hard for you, oftentimes after this ball game. It's on the radio with Tim this afternoon, talking a little bit about the promotions and the Blue Jays and their fortunes lately. Jose Bautista takes the first pitch just off the plate outside. Melky Cabrera made a nice running catch to save at least 2 runs for the Blue Jays. Bautista rips it to left. That's going to get down in front of Johnny Gomes. Leadoff single for Bautista.
That's a good sign right there when everything is working together for Jose Bautista. Was a little bit too quick for the last couple of weeks. That time everything stayed together. The leg got down. That leg kick that he uses as a timing mechanism really got that bat started.
Coming into this game, over his previous 14 games, Bautista had just hit 192, 10 for 52. Of course, that was on the heels of that hamstring injury, and his timing was off a bit, but that was a great-looking stroke. Gianner Navarro had a leadoff double in the second. Navarro, 7 for 19 coming into this game. He's now 8 for 20 against Boston this season.
John Gibbons has him in the cleanup spot tonight for that reason. Just missed a home run his first time up.
You know, it's really interesting, and there are a lot of critics out there. A lot of people will get on John Gibbons for some of his lineup moves and how he's juggling players. Well, what do you want him to do? You got 3 of your key players out of the lineup. You got to try to mix and match and just hopefully get a good matchup on a given night.
You can see when we were talking to him last inning how he put the lineup together and the thought that he put behind it. Why?
One thing he said that was really interesting was we got to get to PV early before they can get to all those left-handers out of their bullpen. They've got 3 good left-handers down in their bullpen. Andrew Miller is the big lefty that comes in and closes out situations. Both DeBront and Breslow pitched in last night's game, but only threw an inning. They should be available.
I think what he was talking about is the last 5 hitters are all left-handed hitters, and he wants to get to them, get the lead, so they can't bring in those left-handers.
Plus the fact the Blue Jays have a 3-man bench. They have 8 pitchers in their bullpen now, and only 3 position players on the bench. Johnson and Tolley on the left side and Tollison on the right side.
2 more lefties on the bench and just 1 right-hander on the bench in Steve Tollison.
This might not be a bad time to start Bautista in this at bat with Navarro. If he hits it on the ground, it's almost a sure double play. On the ground, Napoli goes to second. There's 1 back to first. Double play. Mike Napoli certainly doesn't get the recognition he deserves for being a good defender. He came and got that ball and made a strong throw to get the lead runner at second. Stephen Drew did the rest.
Very underrated at first base. Watch him attack this ball on the short hop and then clears and makes a good throw to Drew. They didn't try to do it too quickly. They just took their time. They've done it 1,000 times in their career. Napoli to Drew to Peavy. And just like that, 2 outs.
Now, Napoli knew that he didn't have to get back to first base because Jake Peavy is a terrific athlete, and he was standing on the bag waiting for the return throw. 2 outs. Colby Erasmus drills it, but it's going to be foul into the second deck. 1-0. The Blue Jays have the lead as they bat with 2 outs here in the bottom of the 4th. Melky Cabrera drove in the run with a single off Jake Peavy's leg. And it drove home Anthony Gose. For Melky, that's his 49th RBI. He has now hit in 12 of his last 14 games. Peavy took something off that last pitch.
You think the Red Sox think Colby's a pull hitter? That is about as exaggerated a shift as I have ever seen right there for a left-hander.
One more step to his left and Napoli's in foul ground. The only thing they can get between Napoli and that foul line is a laser beam.
Well, as shortstop, Stephen Drew is playing at pull position at second base. And that's Dustin Pedroia at short right field.
And they're not far enough to the pull side.
Keep going.
Colby with a full count, 2 outs. Jake Peavy and Jay Happ, the starters. Peavy with another strikeout. 6 strikeouts for Peavy, but the Blue Jays have a 1-0 lead through 4. Now it's time for Blue Jays Central Update. Here's Jamie Campbell and Greg Zahn. Wednesday, July 23rd, the Blue Jays will take on these Boston Red Sox. It's a 7:07 start. First 20,000 fans will receive a Blue Jays downloadable music card. Call the Jays at 416-341-1234 or log online at bluejays.com. Tomorrow night, music night. Come on down to Rogers Center. Pretty good ball game going on early. We move to the 5th inning. Blue Jays have a 1-0 lead. Xander Bogaerts in the 8th spot, then David Ross back to the top of the order, and Brock Holt. Oh, 0-2. Jay Happ's done a terrific job of pitching ahead tonight. He has been ahead from the first pitch of the game, and he's just been able to make these Red Sox swing the bat.
He's found his release point, and he has used it, the fastball, exclusively, mixing in some breaking balls. Gibby was telling us last inning that the breaking ball's a lot better. So Deanna Navarro is using a little bit more.
That breaking ball into dirt is blocked by Navarro.
It's been a long process for Bogaerts, a young player at the big league level. I was talking with Victor Rodriguez today, the assistant hitting coach. He said he's got a lot of tools. He's just learning how to hit at the big league level, and they'd rather him learn here than send him down to the minor leagues where he can get some false positive signs. This is the big leagues right here, and he's going to sink or swim, and he's going to learn how to hit here.
That's Victor Rodriguez in the middle of your screen there, and boy, what a great statement that is. Yeah, you go down 300, hit 300 in the minor leagues, who cares? You know, the quality of pitching down there is not even close to what they have to deal with here in the majors. It's a high fly ball into center. Anthony Gose coming in, makes the play. One down. Well, the Blue Jays are 51-49. They find themselves tied with the Yankees, 4 back of the Baltimore Orioles. The Orioles are on a West Coast swing, and they have their hands full. They're in Anaheim, and they won last night, but they will finish up with the Angels and then go up to Seattle to continue that West Coast swing. That's a tough road trip to start the second half of the season.
For the Orioles, the Red Sox, on the other hand, have the Blue Jays, and then they have to go to Tampa and play them, and then they get the Blue Jays again.
David Ross shoots this one down the right side, and that bounces out of play. It's a ground rule double, and again, Ross limping around the bases. He's 2 for 2. He's not feeling 100%, and we saw this in his first at bat. He said, I made it to second. Okay, I'm all right.
I'm all right. He's also 2 for 2. Picking on a pitch here, you can see he's not moving too well, but he doesn't have to after that ball bounces out of play. If he's not feeling well, you see him. Thank you. Pat on the back. He's 2 for 2. I hate to see him when he's healthy.
Swinging the bat well tonight. David Ross was 4 for 25 coming into this game. He's 2 for 2 tonight. Leadoff man Brock Holt. What an asset Holt is for any major league ball club. He started out as a second baseman with the Pittsburgh Pirates, and then he began to move around the field, and now he's started all positions except pitcher and catcher. David Ross had some thoughts about that the other day when they were playing against Kansas City.
Yeah, he said, thank goodness he's not a catcher. I'd be out of a job. He'd play there too. This guy might be the new Ben Zobrist in the American League East.
That's a good call.
Plays all over the place. Tell you what else it does when you've got a player like this who can play 7 different positions for you. You don't have to carry as many guys on your roster.
Such an important asset when you have to take 7, maybe 8 relievers. I think one of the most prized commodities is an infielder that can legitimately play in the outfield. Blue Jays had one last year in Emilio Bonifacio, and he just couldn't get it going. He went to Kansas City, played well in Kansas City. He was playing well in Chicago until he got hurt. But in the American League, Munenori Kawasaki plays the infield, but he can't play the outfield. He has in a couple of rare situations, but not like Brock Holt. Stays on that breaking ball, hits a grounder to Goins. Ross moves over to third, albeit very gingerly.
Yeah, there's a difference between standing out in the outfield and playing the outfield. You can send guys out there if you need them to cover a couple of innings here and there, but a guy that you have confidence in that you can put out there at any time, those guys are hard to find.
2 outs, Dustin Pedroia. So far in this series, he is 0 for 6. He pops this one out of play. Pedroia will turn 31 in August. He's been in the top 10 in the MVP voting 3 times. He was the MVP in the American League in 2008. Was the Silver Slugger. He's been an all-star 4 times and won the Gold Glove 3 times. You talk about not your typical MVP. Look at Pedroia, but anybody that has seen him play, anybody that has played against him recognizes he brings it every day.
Determination. Remember what Milos Raonic was saying about pushing through and playing hard and never say no. That's this guy right here.
Pretty good pitch, and Navarro wanted it, Jay Happ wanted it, and they didn't get the call. 3-1. David Ortiz on deck. Ball 4. Pedroia takes the walk. No, it's 1st and 3rd. Blue Jays with a 1-0 lead. Ortiz had a double down the left field line his last time up. Finish up on your thoughts of Milos Raonic. What he mentioned was, if I'm not playing tennis well, I can just withdraw from a tennis tournament or skip the next one and practice and get better. He said baseball players don't have that luxury. They got to play through the whole 162 game season.
So you have to be mentally tough and you got to push through it.
There's a high pop. Left fielder Melky Cabrera calls for it. Ortiz is retired. The Red Sox leave a pair. They've stranded 3 so far in this game, and Jay Happ has a 1-0 lead. Cover every angle of the Toronto Blue Jays. Shai Davidi takes you beyond the bases with in-depth analysis and expert opinion. Shai Davidi, MLB Insider, only on Sportsnet.ca. Trade deadline coming up. Shai Davidi is always wearing out the phone lines, making sure he's checking out the latest rumors, trying to pry information from all of the various front offices as to what they might have down in the minors and what might be available. Aaron Sanchez is in the bullpen for the Blue Jays. In case you've just joined us, Sanchez was called up today along with Esmiel Rogers and Ryan Goins from AAA Buffalo.
I would like to see the minutes on his cell phone this month, Shai Davidi. All the phone calls that he's making. Try to get the inside scoop.
He has really done a nice job of gathering all sorts of information. And this time of the year is fun. Chase Headley was just traded from San Diego to New York, and it was interesting. When you get traded from a lower division team to a contending team, how players show up quickly. This is a mile high over near the Blue Jays dugout. David Ross, the catcher, gets there and makes the catch. 1 down. Yeah, when those players are traded from San Diego and say, hey, you're going to get traded to the New York Yankees, and they say, when do I leave?
When's the first plane out? Headley's there tonight. We saw Chase Headley dressed.
Yeah, he got into the dugout and looked like he came into the dugout during the game, and like some of the players that were on the bench turned around and welcomed him to New York. 1 out, Munenori Kawasaki. Did you ever get traded during the season?
Yes. Yeah, got traded in June of '81, right before the trade deadline. I think it was back then. June 15th, the old trade deadline. But there was this
back in the 40s and 50s.
Well, close. But there was this thing called the strike that they
were moving you around, manipulating that.
Yeah, and they said, we want you to go to AAA because we hear there might be a strike. It might last a couple of weeks.
Yeah.
Lasted 50 days.
50 days. I was traded in May of '81. Strike here.
Strike here.
And went from Milwaukee, came here in Toronto on a rainy night. I was picked up at Pearson Airport. Came into Exhibition Stadium. A young man named Rick Amos picked me up in a Blue Jays van and came in and met my new GM, Pat Gillick. That was the only time I was traded mid-season. It's an adjustment.
It is. Got traded right at the second trade deadline, I guess before September. 1 year got traded into a pennant race, and boy, that was the funnest September up until that point. It was with the Mets in 1990. Yeah, finished a couple of games behind the Pirates that year.
But you go over there and you get involved in a pennant race like Jake Peavy last year. He came over from the Chicago White Sox and got involved in the Red Sox pennant race and into the postseason. That's what you want to do. Jake Peavy pitched the ALDS game against Tampa Bay, Game 4 of the ALCS against Detroit, and Game 3 of the World Series against the Cardinals. Ryan Goins struck out on a breaking ball in the dirt back in the 3rd inning. Goins just back from the minor leagues. You remember he broke camp with the Blue Jays, made the opening day roster. He got sent back to AAA on the 26th of April. At that time, he was hitting .150. Had 1 double, 1 home run, and 1 RBI. Goins, now 26 years old. He was originally drafted by the Blue Jays in 2009. Came up last year with the Blue Jays and played in 34 games. Hit .252 with a couple of homers. He's only committed 1 error in his time with the Blue Jays. 58 games. He's only committed 1 error. He's a good defender.
He's a good defender. He's got a good arm. And he'll learn to hit, I think. Spent some time here in the big leagues. Pitchers really pounded him with the fastball. They kept the fastball away. I think if he can hit a couple of those balls away, they'll start challenging him a little bit more on the inner half.
Ryan went to Kansas City this offseason when Kevin Seitzer was named the hitting coach, and he spent some time working with Seitzer before spring training. Kawasaki dives back in. He doesn't have a base stealing attempt this year, but Peavy in this 1-0 ball game wants to make sure that he keeps him close to first.
Well, I think Jake Peavy and the Boston Red Sox know that this part of the order of the Blue Jays, they're going to want to try and make something happen here. They can hit and run if they want. Try to get something going offensively.
Knocked down by Napoli. Peavy goes to first, and another good play by Napoli. He saves extra bases and takes a hit away from Ryan Goins. Well, you talk about team defense. Napoli knocked that ball down. He went after the ball, then right behind him, Peavy's coming off the mound to cover first.
Any ball hit to the right side, that pitcher's got to get over there. Doesn't hurt to take a couple of steps, even if you think he's going to catch it. He's in the right place at the right time. Napoli almost comes up with a beauty right here. Stays with it, no panic, and gets the out at first base. It's a team, the Boston Red Sox, 60 errors, you said it, towards the bottom in fielding percentage in the American League, but they've been playing some great defense in this series.
Well, and they had a few changes, obviously, and Jackie Bradley Jr. is playing more in the center. Grady Sizemore was out in the outfield early in the season. He was since released and has signed with Philadelphia. They've shored up shortstop with the addition of Stephen Drew, who didn't sign till the middle of May. Anthony Gose, he walked and scored the only run of the game back in the third. Anthony had a stolen base that added to that walk. Stole second, that's his 6th steal, and then came in to score on the base hit by Melky Cabrera. Oh, and 2. One nothing game. Anthony Gose would love to deliver here with 2 outs. He's behind 0-2. He's going to have to battle Jake Peavy. Peavy has 6 strikeouts already tonight.
Had a hint of that in his last start. Had 9 strikeouts just before the break in 7 innings. He's keeping it up again here tonight.
There's a high fly ball down the left side. Johnny Gomes moving over near the line, gets there and makes the catch. Peavy gets out of it. The Blue Jays leave a runner. They've stranded 3, and here comes the Home Hardware cleanup crew. Brought to you by Natura, Home Hardware's exclusive line of safe, environmentally friendly cleaning products. So our guests of TD on a beautiful night here at Rogers Center. You're having a good night. While over in the Jays Care Community Clubhouse are folks from Mooresland Community Services. Welcome to you as well. And if you look up, that's you on television right there. Give us a wave. Thank you very much. Beautiful night here, and it's a Blue Jays lead 1-0. Lots of fans out in the outfield, center field area. Jay Happ having a good outing tonight. Mike Napoli has flied out twice. Big cut and misses.
Inside. Kept that ball inside against Napoli.
Why is that so effective against Napoli?
Well, it looks like he's got a long swing for me. He doesn't have that short, compact swing. He's got a lot of moving parts. See the leg kick and then the long sweeping swing. And I think if you pitch him inside, he can't extend and hit the ball out in front.
Can't get the barrel to the baseball. Pitched him inside again. Why wouldn't Napoli just open up and look for one of those inside fastballs from Jay Happ?
Hey, that's what you want him to do. Go ahead and do that. Book it foul, strike one.
Took the fastball for a strike.
It's so hard for hitters, I think, to look for the ball inside. And then when you see that ball inside, you say, okay, there it is. And you get a little bit too quick. And it's really hard to keep that ball fair. It really is. You start hooking the ball, and next thing you know, you're down 0-2.
Well, he took a shot at that outside corner. Everything was inside, and he wanted to take one shot at that outside corner. You know, umpires will miss a pitch, and pitcher has set up that whole pitch and whole sequence, and then that one pitch is pivotal. There's another inside pitch, and you can see how it tied up Napoli.
Well, he's choked up now that he's gotten the 2 strikes, to try and help him have a little bit more back control and help him be a little bit quicker. That's what I like about players that make adjustments inside the at bat. You can see him choking up right there. He's up there an inch or two on that bat.
And that works. He gets to that high pitch and singles into center. Leadoff single for Mike Napoli. Let's check in with Jamie Campbell. Well, leave it to Joe Madden's pitchers to deliver a bunt signal and drive in a run in interleague play. You don't think they practiced that before?
Oh,
this trip to St. Louis?
Who's more prepared than Joe Madden and the Tampa Bay Rays?
Yeah, Jake Odorizzi is starting that game in St. Louis against Adam Wainwright, and that's a great matchup. A 2-game series. Tampa Bay's in St. Louis. They had yesterday off, and they will have Thursday off before they take on the Red Sox on Friday.
Right after the All-Star break. That's odd, isn't it?
Interesting. Yeah, you would think that the Rays would like to bank one of those off days. Johnny Gomes has struck out and was hit by a pitch. Gomes hit a home run against Jay Happ back at Fenway Park in May. Hits one over Ryan Goins, who was positioned perfectly, but it was a line drive out of his reach. Back-to-back singles here in the 6th for Boston.
Teams will shift around and put guys right back through the middle if they feel like that is a good spot for him, and it almost worked out for the Blue Jays. Watch Goins at second base. That's right at him, but he just can't get to it. 10, 15 years ago, that's a clean single to center field. No one even would jump for that.
No, the shifts were non-existent at that time. Brett Cecil is throwing in the Blue Jays bullpen. Blue Jays have a couple of fresh arms down in their bullpen. Aaron Sanchez and Esmail Rogers are in the bullpen. In case you just joined us, Brad Mills, who pitched in the game last night, made one appearance for the Blue Jays, and he is designated for assignment. So Pete Walker out quickly to give Jay Happ a little opportunity to regroup. Shane Victorino is the hitter, and he's 2 for 2 already.
The Blue Jays think he's going to bunt.
I don't.
I don't either. You can see Juan Francisco at first base, and he has played first base before. It's the 4th time this year. He's played some in winter ball also last year with Milwaukee and Kawasaki. thinking he's going to bunt.
Takes a strike. I asked Munenori about his experience at third base. He told me one game in 2012 while playing with the Mariners, not a start. But he did play in 2003 as a rookie in Japan. And that's been the extent of his experience at third. On the ground, Reyes hits short. Goins at second. Back to first. Double play. There's the real value of Ryan Goins right there. He's got a shortstop's arm, and he's quick as a cat around the bag at second.
Turning a tough double play. Good teams turn tough double plays, and Goins with Gomes right on him. Stands in there and gets the double play for Jay Happ.
Johnny Gomes is a throwback base runner. He's not blessed with great speed, but boy, he's blessed with determination, and he was all over Ryan Goins, who made a quick pivot.
Yeah, he stayed right in there. Quick feet, quick hands.
Napoli's at third, and he can get a big walking lead. Kawasaki is over in that shortstop position. Now Kawasaki will come in. Stephen Drew rips at the first pitch.
Here's another double play by the Boston Red Sox. They've hit into two more tonight. 96 times they have hit into a double play.
Yeah, you get base runners on and they're erased with those double plays. 96 is far and away the most in the American League. Breaking ball, strike two. Texas Rangers have grounded into 91 double plays, and now the Red Sox with 96. Those are the top two teams in the American League in grounding into double plays.
John Farrell was telling us before the game they had a game in Houston right before the break where they had 14 hits and one walk, 15 base runners, and they bounced into 5 double plays. Lost that game 3-2.
And they had hit into 3 double plays the night before. 1-2, 2 outs. Fouled back. Boy, Napoli is halfway down the baseline from third. And you say, what's the big deal about that? Well, the big deal is if there's a ball in the dirt and it squirts 5 feet away from Navarro, he can score.
Short wild pitch. You got a left-handed pitcher on the mound, so his back is to him. And look at him. He's halfway home. Brian Butterfield calls him their best base runner. He told John Farrell, don't pinch run for this guy late in a game. He's a good base runner.
He's fundamentally sound as he is a product of the Angels minor league system. Drew gets a piece of it. I tell you what, he is down there so far. It's got to be into Happ's peripheral vision when he comes set.
Yeah,
you see a little bit of motion over there on the third base line, and you got to get anxious.
He's trying to get his attention when he pops down there. Kawasaki is playing straight away at shortstop, but he's getting far enough down there where Jay can see him out of the corner of his eye.
Doesn't make any difference. Happ comes up with a big strikeout. Couple of singles to start the inning, double play and a strikeout. When we come back, it'll be the top of the Blue Jays order. Jose Reyes, Melky Cabrera has the only RBI tonight, and Bautista has a single in 2 trips. Joe Siddall. John Gibbons joins them tomorrow, so make sure you tune in. Baseball Central at noon, weekdays on Sportsnet 590 The Fan. The skipper will be on with Jeff Blair, Kevin Barker, and Joe Siddall, so make sure you check it out. Jay Happ, over 100 pitches through 6 innings. Looks like McGowan's going to take over for him. Dustin McGowan loosening up. It looks like he has gotten up with a purpose. Ball and a strike to Reyes. Jose is 0 for 2. Baseball's a funny game, isn't it? Last night, the Blue Jays looked like they couldn't compete with the AAA team. Tonight, they're beating the Red Sox 1-0. They're reigning world champs. Jay Happ is the reason.
Thanks to Jay Happ right now. 14 runs last night for the Boston Red Sox. Goose eggs through 6 tonight.
Well, that's one thing that's really important. Players understand it. Managers and coaches have to understand it. You can't get too wrapped up in the wins and too depressed in the losses. You just got to play them every day.
Yeah. 14 runs is still counted for just 1 win. Or on the Blue Jays side, just 1 loss. Jake Peavy, on the other hand, says, why didn't you save some of those runs for tonight?
He's been saying that all year. Drew Hutchison took the loss last night, his 9th loss of the season. Jay Happ in line for the win tonight. Reyes gets a piece of that off-speed pitch. Jake Peavy has the lowest run support in the American League. They have scored him just 2.91 runs per start. Tough to win.
Tough to win. That's why he's 1-8. Pitching on the wrong day, but there's nothing you can do about that. You go out and do your thing.
There's a drive to right. Get up and way back. Gone. Reyes with a home run. Number 8 for the Blue Jays. Shortstop. It's a 2-0 Jays lead.
You know, that was another thing that was missing for the Blue Jays, the long ball. And you can understand it without everyone in Encarnacion or Adam Lynn. Brett Laurie is out of the lineup. Jose Bautista missed some time. It's a team that's the best American League at hitting a home run. Blue Jays get a quick one.
Melky Cabrera has the other RBI, and he drills this one down the right side. That's a fair ball, and it bounces out of play. Melky Cabrera with another multi-hit ball game for Cabrera. That's his 37th of the season.
Boy, he is something else. Jose Reyes doubles the score with 1 swing. It looked like a fastball that he was going to try and slip by him with 2 strikes, and Jose says, no, not so fast. Turns on that 91-mile-an-hour fastball. Home run number 8. Just like that.
Home run number 8, RBI number 31 for Reyes. Jose Bautista is 1 for 2. The Red Sox pen is quiet. Peavy backed off that pitch and had Bautista out in front. There's a drive to right. Victorino is back in front of the warning truck. Tagging at second is Cabrera. The throw is late. 1 down. Jake Peavy has given up 2 runs, but his team has not scored. And this is a trend he has seen all year long.
Yeah, lowest run support this season in the American League, Jake Peavy. How about the last two guys on that list, Drew Hutchison, R.A. Dickey? They just don't have much room for error when you're only getting 2 or 3 runs a game. But you just go out there and just keep pitching.
That's all you can do. Now Peavy's got to work with a runner at third and 1 out. The infield is drawn in. They want to save this run. Gianna Navarro. Long, deep drive, way back and gone. Two-run home run for Navarro, his 7th of the season. And the Blue Jays have taken a 4-0 lead.
Boy, what a pretty swing by Diana Navarro on that pitch. Somewhat surprised that they were going to pitch to him with a runner at third base in less than 2 outs. He challenged him with a fastball. Looked like the exact same pitch that Jose Reyes knocked out of the ballpark.
Kobe Erasmus.
What a sweet swing. Fastball down low. Same swing that Reyes had to knock it out of the ballpark.
7th home run of the season. RBIs number 40 and 41 for the Blue Jays catcher. Rasmus behind 0-2. Peavy has allowed 2 home runs this inning.
It's now 20 on the season that he has given up. One more time, down and in, right where lefties like it.
The Red Sox hit 4 home runs last night. The Blue Jays have hit 2 here tonight in the dirt. Peavy has allowed 2 home runs in a game for a 2nd time this season. He's had a season high 3-homer game. That came against the Orioles at Oriole Park at Camden Yards back on the 9th of June. Jay Happ now with a little breathing room, and it's apparent that he's out of the game. Dustin McGowan is still standing by, ready in the bullpen. Off-speed pitch, and Rasmus strikes out for a 3rd time tonight.
The 2014 Honda Civic, Canada's best-selling car 16 years in a row, and the official vehicle of the Toronto Blue Jays.
"4-0 Jays." First baseman Juan Francisco will bat with 2 outs.
Well, John Gibbons got his wish granted so far tonight, hasn't he?
Get to Jake Peavy early.
He's got all these left-handers in this lineup. Navarro, Rasmus, Francisco, Kawasaki, Goins, and Gose. Negate the left-handers that the Red Sox have in their bullpen.
Boston has 3 lefty pitchers in their bullpen. And John Gibbons was concerned if the Red Sox got an early lead, they'd just unload that bullpen to counteract all of his left-handed bats. Still no one warming up for the Red Sox. Peavy has thrown 90 pitches. He is not one to buy into the pitch count philosophy. There's a breaking ball for ball 4. Francisco take the walk. That's the second walk issued by Peavy tonight. And that will get the Red Sox bullpen up and stirring, and that'll bring the pitching coach Juan Nieves out of the Red Sox dugout.
Boy, just like that elusive last out of an inning. Blue Jays have put 3 on the board tonight. Peavy trying to find that last out.
Jake Peavy pitched against Munenori Kawasaki in 2006 in the World Baseball Classic in Anaheim. Kawasaki was the shortstop for Japan. Peavy started the game against Japan in the second round of the World Baseball Classic in the inaugural tournament. Ichiro Suzuki hit the first pitch of the ball game out of the ballpark for a home run. And then Kawasaki hit a double down the left field line. Nishioka, the second baseman, hit a double down the right field line, and Peavy was irate. How do you get these guys out?
How do you pitch them? Where do you pitch them? That is Felix Doubront, who we saw in last night's game. Now just starting to get loose.
Fly ball to center. Brock Holt hurrying back, carrying a long way. He gets there, and the inning is over. But the Blue Jays put up a 3 spot in the bottom of the 6th. Jose Reyes gets it going. He leads things off with a long home run to right, his 8th. And then 1 out later, Deanna Navarro hits a 2-run home run, his 7th. Blue Jays lead it by 4. Major League Baseball. Listen to live audio, follow games pitch by pitch, and enjoy in-game video highlights. The app is available on the iPhone, iPad, iPod Touch, Android, and BlackBerry. Season-long subscription packages are available. Visit BlueJays.com for more details. Blue Jay fans are happy now. They head to the 7th with a 4-0 lead, and they turn things over to Dustin McGowan.
McGowan, 32 games this year, 4-3 with a .416 earned run average. His last game was that game on the 19th against the Rangers. Now, think about this. He threw 2/3 of an inning and had 3 strikeouts in that game against the Rangers. And you say, well, how does that happen? Well, he struck out a guy, and there was a pass ball. Beltre made it to first base. Blue Jays had 4 strikeouts that inning.
First time that had happened since Steve Delabar had a 4-strikeout game in extra innings 2 years ago. So it'll be the number 8 hitter for the Red Sox, Xander Bogaerts. He's 0 for 2 so far tonight. First pitch misses, down and in. McGowan seems to be perfectly suited to work out of the bullpen. He can come out there not concerned about having to pitch 5 or 6 innings. He can air it out, go as hard as he can for as long as he can with a fastball and a slider.
And when he's rested, you can rest a guy out of the bullpen and not overuse him. His ball moves all over the place. Told you that he had those 3 strikeouts against Texas. His ball was dipping and diving, and it's 96 miles an hour. Tough to hit that. Love having guys like this come out of your bullpen who can strike guys out and shut down rallies.
It's demoralizing to the offense because you can't get anything going. Esmail Rogers is back in the Blue Jays bullpen. He too was called up today as the Blue Jays continue to massage their roster.
They needed some length from Rogers, and that's why he's here.
Bogart strikes out, another good fastball. Jay Happ was the starter, and he was impressive tonight. Used his fastball very well. 6 strong innings. He scattered 7 hits over those 6 innings. Didn't allow a run. Only walked 1 and struck out 4. Pitch count over 100 pitches, and they have a lot of fresh arms in their bullpen, so they pulled the plug on Jay Happ, and now he has got a 4-run cushion.
A lot like the start against Boston back in May, the last time we saw him when he won his 3rd game of the year. He had 6 strikeouts in that game also.
Blue Jays won that game 7-4. Jay Happ beating the starter Felix Doubront, who was in the rotation at that time. David Ross, the number 9 hitter and catcher, is 2 for 2 so far tonight. He singled to center and doubled down the right field line. Ross wouldn't chase that high heater. He went around. Good slider, first one of the inning, and it proves to be effective.
The 2014 Honda Civic, Canada's best-selling car 16 years in a row, and the official vehicle of the Toronto Blue Jays.
Beautiful skyline of downtown Toronto from Center Island. 2 outs. Brock Holt, the leadoff man, 0 for 3 so far. Cuts on the first pitch. That ball is diving when it gets to that hitting zone, isn't it?
Looks like a 95, 96 mile an hour 2-seamer right now from McGowan. He's got the ability to sink it. He cuts it. He's also got that slider.
Foul just outside of first. Happy birthday. It's the birthday boy. 50 years old, having a birthday party here at Rogers Center. 0-2, 2 outs. Everybody's celebrating. Blue Jays have a 4-0 lead. This is the second game of a 4-game series. Tomorrow night, right-hander Clay Buchholz will go to the mound for Boston, and he'll be opposed by R.A. Dickey, the knuckleballer. on Thursday afternoon. It's a 12:30 afternoon start. Ruby De La Rosa, young right-hander, and Marcus Stroman will tee it up. Stroman is 5-2 for the season.
And it's on to New York after that ball game.
Somehow Holt got a piece of that pitch and fouled it off to stay alive. This is the 101st game for the Blue Jays of the season. That means they have 61 games left. And their schedule is about 50-50 home and road from here on out. Bouncing ball. Goins comes after it quickly to first. Folks retired. 3 up, 3 down for McGowan. We'll go to the bottom of the 7th. Blue Jays with a good 4-run lead. Band. Get yours at Rogers today for just $24.99 when you upgrade or switch to select new Android phones on a 2-year share everything plan. Check it out, the Sony Smart Band, and you can keep a digital journal of all of your activities during the course of a day. Jake Peavy back out to pitch the bottom of the 7th. Ryan Goins was robbed of a base hit his last time up. He had a hot shot down to first. Mike Napoli was holding the runner on. He knocked it down and was able to recover in time to throw to Peavy covering first.
Change up.
And a good one.
Yep. Really had Ryan Goins fooled on that one.
Brian Goins today during batting practice, he said, I felt just like I did opening day. Get a second chance to come up to the big leagues and hopefully make a better impression this time around. He's made a couple of good defensive plays tonight, including turning a double play in the 6th. Hits this one into center. Brock Holt over in the alley makes the catch.
He broke rules, he broke barriers, he shook the world. Get On Up, the James Brown story. See Get On Up in theaters August 1st.
Hard to fathom there's a prettier downtown area than that picture right there from across the water. Center Island, downtown Toronto. Rogers Center not far off the water. Protected by the CN Tower right next door. Anthony Ghost, the number 9 hitter, playing in center field tonight. Shows bunt and takes the ball.
Not a bad idea right there. I think you should do that at least once a game, just to get that infield in, if nothing else, where you can slap a ball by those corner infielders.
Shows bunt again and pops it over the screen. Well, you just never know. If you get it on the ground, chances are it can scoot past one of these corner infielders as they're charging.
Doesn't have to
be perfect.
Doesn't have to be perfect. He proved that the other day against Colby Lewis when he bounced the ball, a bunt to the left side of the infield. The pitcher fielded it and still was late.
Tries it again. This time he gets it past Peavy, and he beats it out. Everybody in the ballpark knew he was bunting, but he got it past the pitcher. Pedroia was charging hard, but he had to throw back against his body, and it was late.
Just can't get anything on it. He picked a good pitch to bunt to the right side, a breaking ball. That time you can get that barrel out in front, and all you have to do is get it by the pitcher, and he deadens it. Watch the backspin on that. It just stops right there. Takes another stop. Really no chance for Pedroia to throw him out. He's too quick.
Beautiful bunt. He killed it like a wedge shot. And now you can see the Red Sox are buying some time for their bullpen. Jake Peavy has given up 4 runs on 7 hits. Ghost at first, and that'll turn the lineup over. Say Reyes homered his last time up. Kirk Badenhap, the right-hander, loosening up. He should be close to being ready. But Peavy's set to work to Reyes.
Reyes already has a stolen base tonight. Or excuse me, Ghost already has a stolen base tonight. This is another time for him to try and take off.
Ghost stole second back in the third after he was issued the 1-out walk. He's got a big lead at first. Not running. Jose Reyes 1 for 3 tonight with that home run. He's been swinging a hot bat. A 375 average in his 9 games coming into this game. Always enjoy the fans' reaction of booing when they've got a great base stealer on base and they boo the pitcher for throwing over there.
They want to see him run, right? They want to see an exciting play, a fast guy trying to steal a base. A lot of throws over to first base. Maybe you discourage that base runner from trying to steal. I think it should fire you up.
Not running. Off-speed pitch, and Reyes was fooled. Ghost got picked off in the Texas series. He got picked off by the left-hander, Brian Fearabin. And it was a quick move and really surprised Ghost. He was hung out to dry. Jake Peavy working into the 7th inning. One ball, 2 strikes, 1 out. Blue Jays are up 4-0.
Well, it looks like Anthony Ghost wants to go. He just can't get a good read on Jake Peavy right now.
Trying to get some help from his first base coach, Tim Leeper. Peavy's done a good job of mixing up his set times. Ghost broke and stopped, and this is cued off the end of the bat. Anthony Ghost goes around second too far, but he's safe. Angel Hernandez, second base umpire, and he's going to get a visit from John Farrell, the manager. Anthony Ghost went around second, anticipating the possibility of a throw to first, and Dustin Pedroia trailed him right to the base. Bogarts had no play at first and was heads up to look to second.
Watch it right off the end of the bat. He bluffs, and now he goes. Now he's thinking first to third. Bogart bluffs a throw, and he throws behind Ghost. And Pedroia thinks he has him. Jake Peavy thought he had him. This angle right here could give us a good view.
Yeah, Pedroia swiped at him and missed the tag as Ghost gets that hand back on the bag. You can see there was no contact from Pedroia. So Ghost is safe. Peavy wanted the call at second. They didn't get him. And you can see Peavy asking Pedroia, did you get him? Did you get him? And Peavy is now out of the ball game. So Jake Peavy leaves the game with 1 out and 2 runners on. Bert Badenhop into the ball game to face Melky Cabrera when we come back. Step live on your smartphone. Visit RogersAnyplaceTV.com/sports to get started. Blue Jays have a 4-0 lead. They have knocked Jake Peavy out of the ballgame. Peavy is charged with 4 runs on 8 hits. The runners on base are his responsibility. Now Bert Badenhop will make his 44th appearance of the season.
They use him a lot. 46 in the 3rd innings for Badenhop. That's 14th among American League relievers. This is his 44th game. He's got a sinker, slider, lots of ground balls. You can see ground ball percentage 75.8%. He's around the plate, doesn't walk too many batters, and that's what the Red Sox are looking for right here, bringing in Badenhop.
Badenhop has been through a tough stretch lately. He allowed 7 earned runs in 2/3 of an inning in 3 appearances. From the 5th of July through the 8th, there go the runners, and the throw to third is not in time. Anthony Ghost leads the double steal. Badenhop just into the game, and the Blue Jays test him early.
And he throws a lot of ground balls. They needed a double play, so how do you combat that? You got your 2 fastest runners on base, so send them. They do, and it works out for the Blue Jays. 2nd and 3rd now, just 1 out. The infield has to come in.
Good, hard, aggressive slide by Ghost as he picks up his 2nd steal of the night. He now has 7. Reyes has 19. Boy, golden opportunity for Melky Cabrera. He's already driven in a run tonight. He's 2 for 3. Average has climbed to 308. Ooh, he got a good pitch to hit. That's what he's looking for. Something up, out over the plate.
From a sinker baller like that, that's what you're looking for.
With 2 hits tonight, Cabrera now has 126 hits for the season. That's second most in the American League behind Jose Altuve. The Blue Jays will see Altuve on their upcoming road trip in Houston. Right back off Badenhop, and Bogarts thought about home, and then by the time he throws to first, it's not in time. Melky Cabrera hit Jake Peavy with a line shot back in the first. Here he does the same to Badenhop, picks up another hit and another RBI.
Ground ball, unfortunately, right back at him. Kicks it right to Bogarts. He looks home. He looks second. And by then it's too late to get Cabrera. Watch this one right off the ankle of Badenhop. And it hurts just a little bit more when he's safe.
Bogarts had the right thought initially, and maybe if he makes the throw to the plate, they could get Ghost, but by the time he looked at second, it was too late at first. Bautista drills at the left, right at Johnny Gomes. Reyes will have to stop at third. Bautista's second line drive hit of the evening.
Hit the ball hard 3 times tonight. That's a good sign to get Jose swinging again. He is all over this first pitch. Watch him get the foot down, start the swing, and hits it on a line. Watch how quickly this ball gets to Gomes in left field. 2 hops.
Badenhop has given up a .291 average for the season. Right-handers have hit .315 against him. Lefties, .250, and that's what he's dealing with now. Giannis Navarro. Navarro's had a 2-hit night, including a 2-run home run his last time up. The Blue Jays 5 runs on 10 hits. Navarro with 2 career grand slams.
He's been getting the pitches, and he hasn't missed them tonight.
Badenhop wants to talk things over with David Ross. .5-0 Blue Jays. Navarro's swinging it, isn't he?
Yeah, he's seeing it. Time to get greedy right here. He's already had a 2-run home run and a double.
Blue Jays are 4 for 10 tonight with runners in scoring position. Reyes has a couple of hits tonight. Melky Cabrera has 3. Bautista's got a pair. Bases loaded for Navarro. Hot shot, Pedroia to second, Drew back to first, double play. So Badenhop gets the ground ball to get out of the inning, but the Blue Jays tack on a run on 4 hits in the inning. 5-0 Jays. Sleeman Speakeasy. Only the notorious get in. Enter for your chance at SleemanSpeakeasy.ca.
Munenori Kawasaki is starting his first game in the big leagues at third base. I mean, it looked like he's been there his whole career. Watch him take this ball and run straight back over his shoulder and make a sensational play to help out his pitcher, Jay Happ. He might want to give the Toronto Argonauts a call right there. Maybe field some punts or be a wide receiver. That's a heck of a play by Munenori Kawasaki.
He could do the down and out for Ricky Ray. Blue Jays with a 5-0 lead as we hit the top of the 8th. Dustin McGowan tired to sign an order. A young Blue Jay fan saying, "What's all the big deal about? I knew they'd win tonight." Easy now. Come on. Stay with us.
Shirt said, huge fan. Nice.
Dustin Pedroia, the second baseman. Dustin McGowan in his second inning, really. Jay Happ went 6. He shut out the Red Sox on 7 hits.
Wow, just keep pumping that fastball in there. Dustin got beat a couple of times by his secondary pitch with long home runs off of a slider, and it looks like he's made a commitment to use that fastball. He's got good movement on it.
Pulled to third. Kawasaki takes his time. 1 down. This copyrighted telecast is presented by authority of Rogers Blue Jays Baseball Partnership and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form. And the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of Rogers Blue Jays Baseball Partnership. What a difference a day makes. Red Sox won last night 14-1. Blue Jays are playing in the top of the 8th, ahead 5-0. David Ortiz has a double in 3 at-bats. This is the favorite ballpark for David Ortiz outside of Fenway. He's hit more home runs in this ballpark than any ballpark except Fenway. And of course, that's his home yard. So he loves hitting here at Rogers Center.
He's hit more home runs here than any active player. Something about it, only Alex Rodriguez, who is not active, has hit more home runs here than David Ortiz, 35.
Jason Giambi, Mark Teixeira, Adam Jones, and Derek Jeter. Of course, 4 of those 5 hitters have played in the American League East, so they play a lot of games in this ballpark. Alex Rodriguez has hit 36 home runs here. He is the all-time leader for visiting players at this ballpark. The only ballpark at which Ortiz has more homers than he's hit at Rogers Center is Fenway Park. He's hit 182 home runs at Fenway.
Not bad for a guy that they picked up off the scrap heap. Let go by the Minnesota Twins. They signed him. Borderline Hall of Famer for me.
That's interesting. He is certainly climbing up the leaderboard in career home runs. He has 453 career homers. There's a drive to the alley in left center. This is deep and make it 454 home runs for David Ortiz. That ties him with Adam Dunn for 35th on the all-time home run list. He has tied Alex Rodriguez with his 36th home run here at Rogers Center.
And the 3rd time that he has reached the seats against Dustin McGowan. He's got to challenge him with a 5-run lead. Tried to pump a fastball by him. Big Poppy was all over this one. He gets his foot down. Still has that bat speed. Hit on a line to center field. I think if you put in the accolades that he did in the postseason, everything that he has done under pressure situations, he's a Hall of Famer.
That's a great point. When you factor in the postseason and what he has done for the Red Sox, he's got a lot of postseason games.
Clutch hits, played on championship teams, was in the middle of a lot of those things, a lot of October heroes.
Mike Napoli bounced it foul. Third base umpire Larry Vanover made the call as Kawasaki took the ball and fouled the ground. We mentioned the home run, 454th of his career. He is tied with Adam Dunn, 35th on the list. Next in line, Jose Canseco with 462. The list of players is impressive between Dunn and Ortiz and 500. Ball and a strike, one out. It's Dunn and Ortiz, then Canseco, Winfield, Chipper Jones with 468, former Blue Jay Carlos Delgado 473, and then Willie Stargell and Stan Musial tied at 475. The only hitters to hit 400 but not 500. Nobody's between Musial and Stargell and 500.
There's no one between 475 and 500.
That's not correct. I misspoke. Fred McGriff and Lou Gehrig are tied at 493.
Wow.
A couple of former Blue Jays high on the list, just under 500 career home runs. Saw Daniel Nava on deck. Full count now to Mike Napoli. Left-hander Aaron Loup is loose and ready down in the Blue Jays bullpen. It's a high fly ball to right. Bautista with a long run. He's got room. Napoli's retired. Second out of the inning. Well, Daniel Nava has been announced into the ballgame as a pinch hitter, and with that, John Gibbons has made his way out of the dugout. We mentioned Aaron Loup is ready, standing by in the bullpen. So McGowan will go an inning and 2/3. He gives up the solo home run to David Ortiz. Aaron Loup into the ballgame to face the switch hitter Daniel Nava. Blue Jays up 5-1. Dustin McGowan, frustrated after giving up the home run, comes out of the ball game after an inning and 2/3. A couple of strikeouts. He'll turn things over to Aaron Loop, who will face the pinch hitter Daniel Nada.
Loop picked up his 4th save on Sunday when he got J.P. Arcega to pop up for the final out in that ball game. 47 games, 30-2 record, a very good earned run average, and I think this is the right move right here for the Blue Jays. John Gibbons on top of it. Nava.
One pitch. That's all Loop needs to close out the 8th. We'll go to the bottom of the 8th. The Jays have a 5-1 lead. Now it's time for a Blue Jays Central update. Here's Jamie Campbell and Greg Zahn. Honda Civic, Canada's best-selling car for 16 years in a row, and the official vehicle of the Toronto Blue Jays.
6th inning for the Blue Jays. Jake Peavy on the mound. He's going to try and slip a fastball by Jose Reyes, and he knocks it off the back wall in right field for his 8th home run. A couple batters later, another fastball from Peavy, and another home run, this time by Deanna Navarro, our drives of the game off of Jake Peavy. Brought to you by Reyes and Navarro.
Timely home run certainly added to the Blue Jays lead. It was a 3-run inning that made it a 4-0 game. It is now 5-1 as the Jays are set to bat in the bottom of the 8th. And they'll face a new pitcher, Felix Doubront, who pitched in last night's game.
And looked really good, too. Pitched the 8th inning of that game. 3 up, 3 down. Had a couple of strikeouts. Former starter now in the bullpen, John Farrell, finding work for him. When his curveball is good, when he's throwing it for a strike, he's got good stuff. Just hasn't been able in his short career to put it all together. Daniel Nava stays in the ballgame in left field after he pinch hit.
Colby Erasmus takes that big bending breaking ball upstairs. Colby has 3 strikeouts tonight, all of those against Jake Peavy. Two and 0. Well, this is a big test for the Blue Jays after getting pummeled last night, 14-1. They bounce right back. Jay Happ set the tone in the ball game. Happ retired the side in order in the first, couple of strikeouts, gave up a single in the second, but really did a nice job of giving the offense some room to work. Three and 1 to the leadoff man here in the 8th. Ball 4 upstairs. So Erasmus reaches for the first time tonight. That's the 4th walk the Blue Jays have taken tonight. Juan Francisco starting at first base tonight. John Gibbons really mixed up the infield. There's a bender in there for a strike. Francisco making his fourth start at first base. Kawasaki his first major league start at third. Ryan Goins just back up from the minor leagues, starting at second base. Looked like Kawasaki was going to go back and give way to Steve Tollison.
This is that part of the lineup that Gibby was telling us earlier when we were talking to him back in the fourth inning, with all the lefties in a row. And if they bring in a left-hander, he doesn't have a lot of options on that bench.
Francisco strikes out. So that's the first out of the bottom of the eighth, and here is Steve Tollison just putting his hitting gloves on. This has been a fairly consistent move by John Gibbons. Tollison is a good defender, and when there's a lefty in late, he will use Tollison off the bench. So Tollison comes on. He has had 13 pinch hit at bats. That ties him with Deanna Navarro for the most ABs off the bench for the Blue Jays. He is 3 for 13 with a home run and 3 RBIs.
Yeah, he comes off that bench ready to swing it.
Munenori Kawasaki finished up the night 0 for 2 with a walk. Kawasaki made a terrific play in the field. Went down into left field, ground, and made an over-the-shoulder catch of a pop-up to end the inning. There's Casey Jansen. You can see he has warmed up and he's just standing by ready. Slow breaking ball. It's 1-2.
You come off that bench, you only have 3 strikes, so you better take advantage of every one of them.
Pinch hitting is a challenge. Like to have a veteran player, a guy that's been around a little bit, that will go up there with a pretty good approach. There goes the runner. The pitch is inside and there's no throw. Rasmus, he has been on a stolen base tear here in the second half. He's 3 for 3 since the All-Star break.
Picking the right spots right there. He went on first movement of Dubrant, who had thrown over there earlier. Just went on first movement. Picks up another stolen base.
He's in scoring position now for Tollison. A 2-2 count to the pinch hitter. He swings at it, fouls it off, and Ross couldn't hold on to it. Full count now. The Texas Rangers are in New York playing the Yankees, and they are in the 9th inning. It's 0-0. Texas and the Yankees. You won't really see that very often. Texas has 7 hits. The Yankees have 3 hits as they're batting in the bottom of the 9th. That's just foul outside of third.
Who was on the mound tonight for those two teams.
Nick Martinez started just coming off the disabled list. He went 5 1/3, allowed just 3 hits. Chase Whitley started for the Yankees, 7 hits in 6 innings of work. He didn't walk a batter, struck out 6. And then the bullpens took over from there. Feliz, Tolleson, and Kotz for the Rangers. Thornton, Warren, Betances, and David Robertson for the Yankees. Ground ball up the middle, knocked down by Stephen Drew in time at first. Nice play by Drew. Takes a hit away from Tolleson and saves another run.
Boy, he's such a good shortstop. He positions himself the right places. He gets good jumps on the ball. He doesn't hurry this play. Gets to it, gets to his feet. He's very accurate with his throws. This is part of the Red Sox that they were missing earlier in the season. Good shortstop play, taking nothing away from Bogarts, who's a young player, made a lot of errors, but Drew, he's a solid professional.
A lot of the veterans on the team were campaigning to sign Stephen Drew. 2 outs. Ryan Goins takes one inside. Ball and a strike. Curveball in there for a strike. Goins has gone 0 for 3 in his return to the big leagues. Hits it hard past Pedroia into right. Colby Erasmus jogs in with the 6th Blue Jay run. It's a base hit and an RBI for Ryan Goins. He's hit the ball hard twice tonight.
First time he was robbed by Napoli at first base. Flew out deep to center field his last at bat and then scorches this one off of the left-hander. Stays right in there. Hit number 11 tonight for the Blue Jays, just under the glove of Dustin Pedroia.
So Napoli, the first baseman, will move behind Goins with 2 outs. He's in between now because he's got Gose at the plate, who has bunted for a base hit. Gose dropped down a perfect bunt in the 7th inning with 1 out, came around to score.
This will be a situation where he should go ahead and swing away now, 6-1. You've already dropped that bunt down. You've scored a couple of runs. 8th inning.
He swings away and drives it over Drew in the left. Anthony Gose with a 2-hit night. Hit number 12 for the Blue Jays.
Leadoff walk scores. Now a couple of hits. How about this approach by Gose? Stay on there. Keep that front shoulder in. Big curveball. Got to be able to have plate coverage. And Anthony goes down to get that one. He's got 2 hits.
His 6th hit against the lefty pitcher this season. He's now 6 for 25. Just over 200. But that was a good approach. Reyes has had a big night. And it continues. This is a fair ball, and it's going to go all the way to the wall. Goins is in to score. Goins will score as Gose stops at 3rd. And Reyes with his 3rd hit of the night. His 2nd RBI, and the Blue Jays have tacked on 2 more here in the 8th.
What a finishing kick for Jose Reyes in this ball game. First 2 times up, a fly out and a pop out. And now the last 3 innings. He has it working. Home run, single, stolen base, and now a double. Looked like a cutter that was in, and he ropes it to left field. Watch how he pulls his hands in to get the barrel of the bat on the ball. Bounces it off the wall for extra bases.
Reyes brings a unique combination of power and speed. Tonight with a home run and a stolen base. It's the 30th career game in which he's had at least 1 home run and 1 stolen base. Mickey Mantle had 30 similar games in his career. Power and speed, and Reyes has had a big night, a 3-hit night and 5 trips to the plate. Melky Cabrera has had 3 hits. Second and third, 2 outs. Cabrera has driven in 2. Ball and a strike. Bouncing ball to third. Nasty hop for Bogarts, but he handles it cleanly. The Blue Jays add a pair in the bottom of the 8th. We'll go to the 9th. 7-1 Jays trying to even the series at a game apiece. And West, it's connected. You break down all the sports news around the world, and on Pacific, how about a little more baseball? It'll be Miguel Gonzalez for the Orioles against Hector Santiago, the left-hander, for the Angels out in the West Coast, so make sure you check it out. Blue Jays have had a big night tonight. 7 runs on 13 hits. Jose Reyes with a 3-hit night. He's driven in a pair. Melky Cabrera's had 3 hits. Up and down the order, everybody getting into the act. Casey Jansen into the ball game. It is not a save situation. He's trying to get back into a groove, and he delivers a first pitch strike to Shane Victorino.
Yeah, chance for Casey to get some work right here. 25th game of the season. Last time he worked was that game a couple of days ago against Texas, where he's trying to get some work, and it didn't work out for him.
No, and he was a little bit lightheaded. He had been ill over the All-Star break, and he had contracted a virus while he was on vacation. Lost significant weight, lost 7-8 pounds, and didn't have his strength in that first outing. Victorino drills it down the left side, but that's going to hook into foul ground. Nice job by Aaron Loop. He came into the ball game with 2 outs and needed just 1 pitch to dispatch the pinch hitter Daniel Mountain. Jay Happ, Dustin McGowan, Aaron Loop, and now Casey Jansen. Happiness is a win and an ice cream cone. Running all the way down your arm. That's only when it's the best. 1-2. 9,269 fans in attendance. There were 27,000, almost 28 here last night. First two games of this 4-game series. Don't forget, tomorrow night is Blue Jays Music Night. It's presented by TD, and the Blue Jays will give away downloadable music cards to the first 20,000 fans in attendance, and that's over Tallison's head down the left field line. Cabrera gets to it quickly and will hold Victorino to a single. Now it's time for a preview of what's coming up on Connected. Here's Brendan Dunlop and Hugh Burrow. Well, that's coming up right after this ball game. We are in the 9th inning, and the Blue Jays have a 6-run lead. It's 7-1 Jays. It was a pleasure meeting Milos Raonic tonight. He joined us in the booth and gave us a little recap of his summer and a great run at the French Open and also at Wimbledon. Got into the semifinals at Wimbledon. Looking forward to the Rogers Cup. It all starts August 2nd. 44 of the top players in the world will join Milos Raonic, native of Richmond Hill.
Staying to the end.
Yeah.
How about that? He's not going to beat the crowd.
He's a big fan of all the sports in Toronto. There's a long drive to right, and this one's going to get out of here. Stephen Drew with his second home run in as many nights. This one a 2-run homer to right.
Red Sox felt that Drew was starting to swing the bat with a little bit more authority. Last night he had a single and that 3-run home run. He also walked. Tonight another home run. Who needs spring training?
Took him a while to get it going, but this 2-run home run will give him 4 homers and 11 RBIs on the season.
Nothing wrong with that swing right there. That's short and direct.
Well, the Blue Jays had a little cushion to work with, and it is now a 7-3 game. 0-2. Just in case, Brett Cecil has started to loosen up. Off-speed pitch is popped up. First base side of the infield. Francisco makes the catch. Bogart's retired. That's the first out. Top out for him. Casey Jansen is a command pitcher. He's not overpowering by any means. He just needs to locate his pitches, and he's a little bit rusty trying to bounce back from that bout with the virus.
And you mentioned it. We were talking to Pete Walker earlier that he felt a little dizzy in his last time out. He threw over 20 pitches to get a couple of outs. And he needs work also to stay sharp.
Red Sox catcher David Ross 2 for 3 tonight. One and one to Ross. Jansen has thrown just 22 2/3 innings coming into this game. Blue Jays went for a long stretch and there weren't any save opportunities for Jansen to work in. It's a bouncing ball that's going to sneak through into center field. David Ross has a 3-hit game. Tomorrow night it'll be game 3 of this 4-game series as the Blue Jays and Red Sox continue. Clay Buchholz, the right-hander, 5-5 on the season against the knuckleballer R.A. Dickey. Dickey has a respectable ERA at 3.95, but he hasn't been given much run support of late. We showed you earlier that he has the 5th lowest run support in the American League. So David Ross is out of the game. You saw him pass by Clay Buchholz. Jackie Bradley Jr. will take over pinch hitting. David Ross has been limping around all night long, and After getting his third hit of the night, Jackie Bradley Jr. will come in to pinch run for him.
Tell you what, I don't want to go any deeper than this guy right here. You got some veterans coming up now with the Red Sox.
Brock Holt, the leadoff man, has been given the collar tonight. He's 0 for 4. There's Pedroia, the number 2 hitter, and right behind Pedroia is David Ortiz, who's doubled and homered tonight. If you think the Red Sox are going to roll over and play dead, you don't know the Red Sox.
No, they're starting to swing the bat, and they're not going to give outs easily. Nobody gives away at bats on that team.
Ball on the strike, 1 out. Blue Jays looking for that ground ball. Ortiz is in the hole. Pedroia is on deck, and Holt is the batter. Three and 1. Holt has grounded into a double play in a hot shot to Francisco, who knocked it down, stepped on the bag, and threw to second to retire David Ross. 3-1 pitch from Jansen. Ball 4. So Brock Holt reaches for the first time. Dustin Pedroia comes to the plate, and John Gibbons is pacing in the dugout.
Got some decisions now. This happened to Casey the other day when he came in. He couldn't finish off the inning. That's when Aaron Loop came in and got that save. Same thing here.
Jansen will work to Pedroia, and Dustin Pedroia is 8 for 20, a 400 clip against Casey Jansen. First and second, just 1 out. The tying run is on deck. Blue Jays looking for the double play. Sox have hit into 2 tonight. 0-2.
That's where Casey lives, right there, right on the edges. Cuts that fastball away from Pedroia.
Boston has grounded into 96 double plays this season. 97 would be sweet for the Blue Jays. Fly ball. It won't be a double play. Bautista camped under it. 2 down. So David Ortiz, who has homered tonight, his 23rd home run of the season, steps to the plate, and he does not represent the tying run. John Gibbons has come out of the dugout. He's called for the left-hander, Brett Cecil. So Cecil will come in. For Cecil, he'll face David Ortiz when we come back. The Blue Jays have a 4-run lead. appearance of the season. This is a save situation. Cecil is 3 for 4 in save situations this season. David Ortiz will come to the plate. He has doubled and a homer tonight. His 23rd home run, and an indication of where he hits those home runs.
Stay out of the middle and stay out of the middle in. That fastball, he can go down and get it. Hit a curveball last night from Graham Mills for a home run, but everything seems to cluster in the middle of that strike zone. So you can go up and away, I think, or you can stay away from that power of Ortiz.
Ortiz has 53 career home runs against the Blue Jays. Cecil drops the breaking ball on him for strike 1.
Playing the shift also. That's Reyes and Goins on the right side along with Francisco.
Cecil has seen a lot of Ortiz. This is his 21st at bat against Brett Cecil. He has just 4 hits. Bouncing ball. Thomason at third. He'll go to the bag. Ball game. Brett Cecil picks up his 4th save of the season. Jay Happ is the winner. He picks up his 8th win of the season. Big night for the offense.
Yeah, offense comes alive with 13 hits and 7 runs. The home run very prevalent tonight for the Blue Jays. Navarro and Reyes go deep in that 6th inning, but they came up with hits with runners in scoring position tonight, something that didn't happen. What a turnaround for the Blue Jays after getting smoked in yesterday's ball game. They come right back and get game 2 in this big 4-game series against the Red Sox.
Jays 6 for 15 with runners in scoring position tonight. Stay tuned. East Ontario West, it's connected. More baseball on Pacific. We'll see you tomorrow night. Thanks for watching.